Omaha's news leader, chronicling the stories and people making a difference in our community. This is KETV Newswatch 7's Chronicle.
Well, good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rob McCartney. Recently, Omaha shut down City View Apartments amid financial and safety issues, displacing well over 100 residents who have limited affordable housing options. And that is a crisis for the country. The National Low-Income Housing Coalition says there is a shortage of more than 7 million homes across the country. By some estimates, in Omaha, nearly 30,000 new housing units have to be added in the next 4.5 years, with 60% of those, or about 18,000, being specifically deemed as affordable. But you know, Omaha is only part of the metro. This morning, we're looking at what Council Bluffs is doing. The city developed a plan to sell golf courses as surplus property to developers, forming partnerships with organizations like the 712 Initiative and Habitat for Humanity to build new townhomes for low-income families. We spoke with Habitat Council Bluffs last year about the need for those developments.
Well, the need for affordable housing, of course, is massive. Needing to bring entities together and partnerships together to build more homes is an absolute need in our community and the mission of Habitat for Humanity.
And we spoke with Council Bluffs Mayor Matt Walsh in April when the new golf course development was announced. He said the city has only a 0.6% owner-occupied vacancy, to go with less than 1% housing inventory and a 1.7% rental vacancy. One of Council Bluffs' major developments broke ground about 7 months ago. That project will develop hundreds of new housing units, and it's paid for by developers and tax increment financing. Chronicle's Alex McClune was there when the announcement was made last November.
A sign of what's to come here near Fox Run Golf Course, where dozens of apartment units expect to break ground later this month to help Council Bluffs dig out of its affordable housing ditch.
We really have a need to develop housing.
Mayor Matt Walsh has held public office for 3 decades. The recession and pandemic dealt a heavy blow, bringing development to a grounding halt. The mayor says if rental vacancy is below 8%, it contributes to homelessness. Council Bluffs believes its rental vacancy is below 1%.
Get the engine going again. It was difficult. Frankly, I'm shocked how lucky we've been right now.
A jolt of investments are generating 7 new properties for a total of 652 new units, thanks to funds for developers and tax increment financing, with more plans in the works at City Hall.
We believe we're going to get about a $10 million grant from the state of Iowa to put in the streets.
Like every place else, there's a housing shortage. More projects for hundreds of more units are going through the permitting process, and at Wednesday's Rotary Club meeting, the mayor even teased plans for a new subdivision.
We've gotten very aggressive.
In Council Bluffs, Alex McClune, KETV Newswatch 7.
And one of the city's other ambitious ideas involves another golf course, Dodge Riverside. In addition to providing housing, it would change the look of the riverfront. Chronicle's Pete Cudahy reported on the public hearing about the project in April.
According to Council Bluffs Mayor Matt Walsh, the city is facing a housing crisis.
We got 0.6% owner-occupied vacancy, less than 1% inventory, and we've got 1.7% rental vacancy.
Leading the city to explore how they can expand. Their target? Selling the city-owned golf course to housing developers.
This is a prime location next to the improvement amenities on the Council Bluffs side of the river.
Holding a public hearing to discuss their conceptual plan with Council Bluffs citizens. Not everyone is sold on the idea.
So why get rid of it? It's one of the only open golf courses that we got.
With some attending the meeting expressing concern that the project would raise their taxes.
Some people have unrealistic expectations and think it's going to go up overnight and then, woo, our taxes are going to go down. And that's unrealistic.
But Mayor Walsh says the redevelopment plan would do the exact opposite.
If you do the math, it could reduce taxes by 10%.
Councilwoman Jill Almonte set up the public meeting today, hoping to keep constituents in the loop.
It's really been about a 50-50 issue. obviously it impacts everybody, just not the golfers that are down there or people across the river that come over and use our parks.
But golfers I spoke with at Dodge Riverside say they're worried about the proposal.
My biggest concern is that if this golf course goes away, our league will go away with it.
Now, Pete Cudahy reporting. Now, the council rejected initial plans for that project last month on a 3-2 vote. And joining me now is Council Bluffs Mayor Matt Walsh. Mr. Mayor, thanks for being here today. Appreciate it.
Rob, thanks for having me here.
You bet. So your reaction to that vote, turning it down?
Well, I guess I take responsibility. I apparently did not communicate well enough with the city council the importance of converting that golf course to housing. I didn't think it was that complicated an issue. It is a golf course that's been here since 1927. So I appreciate the fact that people have a desire to continue to golf at the golf course. They grew up golfing there, but as the reporting earlier in this piece, Council Bluffs, like almost everybody across the nation, has a shortage of housing. And,
right.
and for the first time, Council Bluffs is actually an importer of labor. We are a bedroom community that for years people slept in Council Bluffs and got up and went to work in Omaha.
Right.
Now on a daily basis, we have about 20,000 residents from outside of the community, many from Omaha, that come to work in Council Bluffs, and we export about 18,000 in labor out. And so,
is the Riverside project dead then?
At this point, we don't know. We think we need to go back and do a better job of talking to the city council. All three council members who voted against it gave some indication that the fact that it would convert to housing at some point was imminent, and so we'll see how that works.
How critical is the housing shortage in Council Bluffs?
Well, in the reporting, they said below 8% contributes to homelessness. We're 1.7, and so we've seen rental organizations, real estate investment trusts, and others contact our local landlords and say, hey, do you want to sell your property for 1.5 times the appraised value? Now, why would they do that? They recognize the shortage and the fact that due to the shortage, they can raise rental rates. And so they pay more for it today, but they get their money back pretty quickly. My research showed 34% increase since COVID in rental rates, and I've got an elderly lady who I know said her rents have gone from $870 to $1,230 in the last 2 years.
So let's look at solutions then. What tools do you have at your disposal to solve this problem, and do you wish you had more tools?
We've been very aggressive, and we think that we are working towards that solution. Courtney Harder, I think, is going to talk later, and she can, excuse me, she can give you the accurate numbers, but we, in conjunction with the Iowa West Foundation, have put together an incentive package. We're using ARPA funds to do that, which is a justified use of those funds. They have to be spent fairly quickly, and so we've gone to developers and said, hey, if you build in Council Bluffs, we can help subsidize your cost. And so I think we're pretty close to 1,800 units currently under construction, and about another 900 in the planning stages. And so that should alleviate those the expense of living. And you know, it's a simple supply and demand formula. If there's not enough supply and there's excess demand, they can charge higher rental rates.
Right.
If we I had one city councilman say, are there too many apartments? And I said, at the point in time where the landlord says, we've had vacancy for a couple months, we need to lower the rents on that. And he said, they'll never do that. And I said, yes, they will. Are they going to keep it vacant and earn nothing, or would they take a $1,200 unit and lower the rent to $1,100? And then that feeds down. So that's the goal. You got to get enough where there is vacancy. I'm a former commercial banker. Anytime we did a loan write-up, we'd calculate in 10% vacancy just to see how the project would cash flow. And when you're 1.7, it's too tight.
Do you ever look at other cities, other states to see what they're doing and maybe steal some of their ideas?
I honestly have not. Courtney probably has. You know, we're just focused here that the Omaha metropolitan area is growing.
Right.
Omaha has almost doubled its population. Council Bluffs has not grown since at least 1970, almost the exact same population. And we've got lots of new homes constructed, and so people say, well, that makes no sense, all these new homes coming online, but
right.
Size of families gotten smaller. And so when they used to have a family of 6, now we're down to a family of 4.7 or something like that. And so we need the workforce, we need the housing. Same thing's true on owner occupied. When you get 3 individuals bidding up the price of a home because they wanted to buy a $350,000 home, and one comes on the market that hasn't been any on the market for a while, and 3 people bid it up to a $400,000 home, that increases the price the assessor assigns to the home, and it increases the property and casualty insurance rates that you have to pay to your insurance carrier.
Yep.
Because they say, well, if it's worth $400, we probably better insure it for $430. And we've seen property and casualty insurance rates go up 60%. And so when you put all that together, the cost of housings has gotten very expensive. And the only way to solve for that is to produce more housing.
And so finally then, Mr. Mayor, what happens if you don't solve it, if you don't produce more housing?
Well, then everybody pays a higher burden. You know, it's almost like a homeowner association, city government is. Everybody kicks in, and if there are fewer people to kick in, everybody that kicks in has to kick in more. And so if we broaden that tax base, not only do they pay property taxes, a broader base of property taxes that we can lower the amount on the individual. They pay more sales taxes. We get more reimbursement from the federal government and road use tax. In other community development block grant money is based on population. And so all those things are a factor. And I was talking to Mayor Stothert when they did their $200 million in street work, and I said, what's that going to raise your taxpayers' cost? She said about $46 per taxpayer. Well, in Council Bluffs, because we got a smaller base, to do $200 million, every $10 million costs our taxpayers $25. And so when you do the math on that, it's a big number, a number that the city can't afford. So you gotta grow. Some people say, I like our smaller community, it's great, but it's not economically sustainable.
All right. Well, Mr. Mayor, I appreciate you coming in, and I wish
Always
you
great to see you.
Best of luck, likewise.
Thank you.
Well, next on KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle, we're gonna learn more about how the city collaborates for these projects. Plus, cost of living continues to go up, leaving some displaced. You're going to learn how one woman used new resources to afford a new home.